are live. Tom Levecki here with a special live edition of the Armchair NBA. Famed New York pizza shop owner hit in the head by Aaron Judge. Foul ball. You can't make this up. And he makes a bold demand from the Yankees. I'm wearing my old Yankee cap in homage to our man, Paulie G, restaurateur, entrepreneur, all-around good guy. Paulie G, welcome back to the Armchair NBA. How you doing today, buddy?
Thank you. It's great to be back.
So, I gotta share this because Paulie's now a friend and he's a good guy. And I just gotta show the pictures from the post art. This is all over the post. If you're in New York, this is all over the news. Kind of looks like it's like Ash Wednesday for Paulie there. Paulie, what happened?
All right. First, let's get something straight. The Post article says that I'm making a bold demand. I mean, maybe I'm bold, but I'm not making any demands at all. Okay? As I just told somebody else, I have a hope, a wish, and a dream. Okay? My hope is that, let me go get the ball. Hang on a minute.
Yeah, I'm going to say.
Sorry about that.
I was going to say, it's worth something.
So here's the ball, all right? My hope is that this is the ball, the actual ball that Aaron Judge, hit my head right there, right on my four-eyed wink. Can I say four-eyed? Four-eyed winking chef logo, okay? A fan was nice enough to give this to me while I was sitting there trying to get my senses back. He actually gave me the ball. But my hope is that I get Aaron Judge to sign it. That's all I wanted. The Yankees, they took me to first aid, and they said the Yankees were going to contact me the next day to check on me, yada, yada, yada. Yeah. They never did that. But my hope is to have him sign the ball. That's all. My wish is that he does it at Paulie G's Slice Shop.
There we go.
Where the place was full of Yankee memorabilia from the 60s and 70s. And my dream is that they start serving my pizza at the stadium and, let me name a slice after this incident.
I love it. All right. So hold on. We got to unpack this a little bit. So the first part, and you know this, the trajectory and the velocity of a ball, and obviously a home run is linear, but was it a side shank? Like where were you?
It was a foul ball. He's right-handed, and I was sitting close to home plate on the first base side, and he hit a pop. Okay, and it looked like it was coming in our direction. Mrs. G was sitting next to me. I want first and foremost, I want to protect her. I don't, the idea of getting the ball, it never really works. It hits your hand, you hurt your hand, and somebody else is the beneficiary of it, right? But I just wanted to make sure that we didn't get hit with the ball. So I rise up to look for the ball, and as I'm getting up, it was a high pop. So I'm, going to raise my head, and boom. I totally surprised. I didn't see it. There was no chance to see it. And then there you go.
How much did it hurt?
It hurt a lot. It hurt a lot. It scared the shit out of me. Can I say shit on here?
Yeah, it's YouTube. You're good.
I just did. It really did. It was like, first of all, I'm awake. Okay. What happens when you get hit this hard in the head? I didn't know. And I saw stars. And I started, seeing if I had my senses, and I saw where I was, and everybody was gathering around me and asking me if I was doing okay. And then they looked and they saw that I had blood.
Ouch!
Got some blood inside my hat here.
Ouch!
Okay, so but I didn't want to leave the game. It was a great game. Well, it wasn't a great game. Any game that ends in a Yankee loss is not a great game. I don't care. Right? Just like a great at bat, people say, "Oh, that was a great at bat." It's only a great at bat if the guy got on base or advanced the runner or did his job, right? But in any case, I wanted to stay for the game if possible, and I started, assessing my condition. People asking me what day it is, where are you, what's your mother's maiden name,
Who's president?
And, I was getting a little better. And so, no, I don't want to go. You want to go to first aid? No, I don't want to go. I want to see how I am, right? and I wasn't getting that much better. And I said, I better not screw around. You hear these stories. All of a sudden, somebody got hit in the head. Next thing you know, they're lying on the ground dead, right?
Wow.
So I waited a little bit. They came over right away. First aid came over with a backpack or something and put ice on my head.
Yeah.
And because he did that so quick, I think I never got a lump. This is not a bump. This is completely smooth, and it always was.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty impressive, right?
Should the doctor get it checked out, Paulie?
Huh?
Should the doctor to get it checked
Yeah.
out?
Well, what happened was I went to first aid.
First aid, a real doctor, a neurologist.
Whoa. You want to let me get to it?
Yeah, please.
Relax. So I sat there for a while. They're checking me out. They put the blood pressure thing on my arm. I was 173 over 96.
Whoa.
I think that's pretty high, right?
Huh.
So that scared the crap out of me too, right? But we were sitting there for a while, and they told Mrs. G that the Yankees were going to follow up and check on me, right? Well, he never did that. And I started thinking, you know what? If I'm not getting that much better, they're going to want to send me to the ER.
Correct.
And, I would prefer going to my favorite hospital, to the ER on First Avenue, in Kips Bay, NYU, right? NYU Langone, rather than Lenox Hill Hospital or whatever is up that way. I don't want to be that far from home. When the ferry is running, NYU is like my local hospital. I'm a 5-minute ferry ride when I'm at my apartment in Greenpoint. So I told them I was doing much better. You want to go back to the game? I said, no, I don't want to go back to the game, And I started thinking, we went there. I got great seats gifted to me, along with parking. And the car was on the top deck of the parking lot. And I said, if this game ends, I'm never getting out of here.
Yeah.
I don't want to get caught up. So I told him, I want to go home. I'm doing all right. I want to go home. So we hightailed it out of there. We got in the car. Mr. G drove us to NYU Langone. And I went in, and I discovered that this is where homeless people go at night now. Okay. They checked themselves. This place was a really. These people, I said, they couldn't possibly have a home to live in or people to take care of them, right? But I did get in there, and they took good care of me. They examined me. They checked me out. 1 million friggin' people. If one more person asked me if I was on blood thinners, I was going to shoot them. Okay.
Wait till the bills come in.
No, I'm on Medicare. It's unbelievable how good Medicare is. No bills. It's unbelievable. One advantage of getting old. Really, I was really surprised. I'm knocking on wood here because I don't want to jinx myself.
Yeah, you ain't kidding.
But in any case, they did a CAT scan on me, and they wanted to say I didn't have a fractured skull.
Yeah.
They said that this spot on your forehead is where your skull is the thickest. So I was watching out in the chef. The chef saved me. Now, there's a little bit of, if you look closely on here, you're not going to be able to see it too well, but on the right-hand side of the logo, that you could actually see an indentation of the stitches from the ball. So,
wow.
but they told me that, and it said something, my CAT scan was unremarkable, it said, okay? I was unremarkable. But, I had a concussion.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I definitely had a concussion.
My first reaction was, are you okay? Because you're a friend, right? And then obviously, if you're doing some media, you're probably okay. That's why I wanted to check in with you. But number two, of all the gin joints, you know what I mean? It's like you're like, listen. I talk about you all the time. I do media for a living. I gotta hire you. There's nobody better at media than you. All earned media. You don't spend a dime. This fell on the media guy's head. What are they thinking? Why is there PR people not on the third window here offering you lifetime tickets? They have a really big opportunity here. One, to do the right thing, God forbid. But number two, a media personality such as yourself, an entrepreneur such as yourself, not that you should get special treatment, but you got hit in the head. Why do you think from the Yankees brass, why isn't their PR machine taking advantage of this?
I don't know. Maybe the word never really got back to them. They first aid said that the Yankees were going to call me. Maybe they have some protocol, and maybe they didn't get it. I don't know. But by now, I mean, I tagged. I did some Instagram posters. I'm sure you saw, and I tagged Aaron Judge because I really like him to see this. And I tagged the Yankees. I tagged Yankee Stadium, and nothing. And even I think I just saw an article on WPIX.com. They said they reached out to the Yankees for comment, and they haven't heard from them. But the problem is, I don't want to be painted in the wrong light here. They got me painted as making a bold demand, and make this right. Well, make it right. I know that when I go to a game, it's my risk. And if I didn't know, and because they don't give out ticket stubs anymore that you can read it on, they had it plastered right in front of my seat there. Okay, the sign was clearly there. Your own risk. But there's nothing I want to make right. They don't owe me anything. I just would, like to be able to have Aaron Judge sign this very special.
No, but you hear all the time the feel good story. The lady guy didn't have the bat, the blah blah blah. They go back to the clubhouse. Hey, how are you? Again, forget your Paulie G. Forget you're a business media guy. It's just the right thing to do, right? So now compound that with being who you are. Like you figured they would be all over. Now I will tell you this. This is from personal experience. The old show that I had with Mr. Panisi, he told a story that was a little out there, respectfully, that his house was shaking, blah blah. So it hit front page news of the New York Post, where they called it Ghost the Nostra or something like that. Interesting enough. Interesting, yeah. But the reason why I bring it up is because I do media for a living. Is front page New York Post. I'm a post guy, so I didn't talk to John that morning. I get the post. That's why I found out about you. I get the post emailed to me digitally. Once in a while get the print. So I'm a post guy personally. So I heard about it first before John. John didn't know about it. So Orazio, my point being is front page of the Post and a whole bunch of other stuff surrounding it. No uptick on the podcast or no uptick on people looking for his name. So kind of traditional media, I don't know if you're on the front page or not. I didn't get the print, but traditional media like the New York Post print probably didn't get to the Yankees because it doesn't have the reach it used to. You know what I mean, Paulie?
I guess I know that a lot of people knew about this when they saw the post. Though I started getting bombarded when the article came out. People saw it on social media before that, but as soon as that post thing hit page 6, I started getting all kinds of people contacting me. So somebody sees it. They're just not looking in the right place, I guess. But what are you going to do? So.
Well, I'm going to send this directly to the Yankees. Mr. and Mrs. Yankee, whoever's running it nowadays, Steinbrenner's great nephew, whoever, right? Hal or whoever, just sign the ball, come in for a slice, take a photo. Don't pat him on the head because it'll hurt. Pat him on the back, and we all move with our merry lives. I don't think there's asking for much.
And if they don't, they don't. I just want, I hope that they can do this. Like my grandson's a big Judge fan. I'd love to be able to, give him that ball, or whatever. And that's it.
Now, Paulie, we know that there's a lot of disclaimers. How many lawyers reached out?
None. No ambulance chase. Not one friggin' ambulance chase.
Wow.
That's a very good point. Not one.
I think we're losing our touch, Paulie. All right. So since you've been on the podcast, and we're going to have you back on soon anyway, this is more an impromptu. You're busy. I think you opened a Philly. Give us some of your new openings and what's going on in the burgeoning or the growing Paulie G empire.
Well, I think since we talked, I got an opportunity because of the pandemic to open up a spot in New Orleans, a city which I absolutely love.
And we had Komodo Slim is his name. He went there as a follow-up, gave it glowing review. I had about 5 people from the show visit it and respond back that they had an enjoyable experience.
Oh, good. Oh, I'm very glad to hear that. I didn't know that. I've been away from, your podcast for a while. And I wish I had known that. So I did. I have to admit to you, I kind of got sucked into talking Sopranos. Okay, is like I can't stop. I even went back after I listened to almost all of them. I think I have like 5 episodes left. I started watching each episode again and then going back and listening to their podcast. It's a very
Yeah,
good podcast. But
yeah.
yeah, that's very nice that
Well,
people went to the New Orleans shop.
I had the guy on. You'll appreciate this. I should probably connect you. Had the guy who did the Sopranos con, and they did Soprano con the first year in Secaucus, New Jersey. Went really well. Then the pandemic hit, and then when they finally opened back up at Harrah's, they were able to do it. They grouped. This is interesting. They grouped Sopranos con. Hold on.
What did you do?
Sorry, my 2-year-old's running around. I don't want her on screen. Sorry. So Sopranos Con, they had, and it was a big event. And then they had Mob Movie Con, where they got different Mob Godfather and all that kind of stuff. And then lastly was a Gotti reunion with Armand Asante. So they kind of had like this triumvirate of different people come to this big, like, kind of, con, if you will, the Comic Con, whatever. It was a glowing success. So I had him on the podcast. I don't know if they're doing another one, but yeah, the appetite for Soprano content has reemerged, and I think
Yeah, it's a whole new generation liking anything. But in any case, back to New Orleans. So
yeah,
we opened up this spot just because I love New Orleans. I did not want to operate another place myself, particularly not someplace remote. But having this opportunity was basically a free pizzeria. I just had to
yeah,
spend the money to redo it to make it look like a slice shop model.
yeah.
So we did that. It's taking a little time down there, especially through the summer. The summer months are tough. But we had for the longest time I've been wanting to do something in Philly, and I never found the right person. Okay. Um, I found some spots that were good, but never the right person. And my son who lives in Philly, both of my sons are really Philly people now. My oldest son, he moved to Medford, which is a Philly suburb.
Yeah.
Um, my younger son, he had worked with me in the shop before he became a research psychologist, and he didn't want to do anything. I kept on saying, "You sure you don't want to do something?" And slowly but surely, as he saw what was ahead in his life as a research psychologist in terms of finances um, and satisfaction, I think he decided that this is something he could do. And he
Nice.
saw the potential for it to grow. And we started talking about it. He got excited because he wanted it to be his own thing. He thought a tavern would be cool, um, and have a. I actually kind of put the idea of having a vinyl shop in there as well, because there's a place in Philly called the Milk Crate, which is like more of a breakfast place that has a vinyl shop attached. And we started looking for. I look like John Gotti going around when they get beat
That
up.
one pick we got.
Yeah, it kind of does. Kind of does. So, he had better hair than me, though. So we started looking, and we actually found it was hard to find a spot.
Yeah.
My son has lived in Philly for about 10 years now, by the way, between school and work. And we weren't crazy about the spot, but we didn't think we were going to find anything else. We figured it would be kind of like a starter home. It would be like a starter spot, right? It was too small, had a bar in it, but he wouldn't have been able to do anything else he wanted to do, right? And we were actually going back and forth. We wrote a letter of intent, and we were waiting for the landlord to give us a lease, and the landlord was dragging it behind. She was an absentee landlord. She lived in London. She had a friend helping her work on this. And in the meantime, an iconic restaurant space became available. A place,
wow.
it was a restaurant, it was a Mark Vetri restaurant called Amis that
Okay.
had closed. Urban Outfitters had taken them over. He had sold most of his restaurants to Urban Outfitters for $20 million, and he stayed on with them for a couple of years, running that. He and his partner running that arm of Urban Outfitters, the restaurant arm, right?
Oh,
But
wow.
it didn't work out. At least in that spot, it didn't work out. And in 2019, before the pandemic, they closed. and there were people going to go into it. The pandemic stopped the first project from going through.
Yeah.
And then there was going to be another one, and lo and behold, all of a sudden that fell through, and that fell into our lap. My son was very leery because he didn't want to bite off more than he could chew, because the rent was like 3 times what the other place we found was going to be. But I saw what a perfect place it was. It was big. It was 2,700 square feet. It had room for everything that he wanted. A 14-seat bar in a great neighborhood, just south of Center City, near the theaters, and just a really good neighborhood. And there was room for a pool table, which was the other thing that he really wanted.
Oh, nice.
And we did it. We got open pretty quickly. Even had Mark Vetri come in as our first customer. Actually, I was at Restaurant Depot picking up some bullshit, but and it's going well, considering this is the slowest time of year basically in Philly because everybody goes to the shore. It's doing well, so that's what I've been up to.
So if I remember,
that's his restaurant now, by the way. He operates it. He's going to own a majority of it.
okay. So it's well, that was my question. Let me get to that, Paulie. Because last time I spoke, I think you had 5 installations and 2 in the queue. I think Philly, is that correct? 5 plus 2? We're at 7.
Well, there was Baltimore, Columbus, 2 in Chicago were licensees.
Got it.
New Orleans, I was probably working on New Orleans at the time, or maybe it just opened, and that was mine, 100% mine.
Okay, so you kept that. So how many are corporate right now, and how many are franchisees?
3 corporate, 4. A wood-fired place, a slice shop in Greenpoint, Philly, and New Orleans.
Got it. Okay.
Columbus is licensed. Baltimore is licensed. Chicago, we have a licensed wood-fired place and a licensed slice shop. A little different than our scheme in Greenpoint and New Orleans and Philly.
But what I wanted to ask, and I was thought about this because I watch the Dave Portnoy stuff and I check this stuff out. I still got to come out. Is you have the sit down place, more of a restaurant, and then you got the slice shop, the Paulie G slice shop. If I want to buy in, or if I visit outside of New York, you're franchising essentially the Paulie G slice shop, correct? Or
yes, no, I'm doing unless it's a unique opportunity that where a wood fired place would work. We feel that a slice shop is a better way to go. It reaches a wider audience. It's more family oriented. It works for takeout and delivery, which is a significant revenue stream. It's important that you can't have. I won't have in the wood fired place. Other people do it. I won't. You take that pizza, you put it in a box. It's a coffin to it. It's just because of the way it bakes. I guess the hotter you cook it in the first place, the quicker it degrades. So I would open up more licensed slice shops, but not.
So you wanna grow through franchising. We'll keep a tab on that. Like I said, we'll have you back. My question though, what stood out on our first interview was because I get it, right? You kind of need a beer and wine license. There's better margin. It complements a beer. It drives the average order value. But you seem not to be so hot on the Jersey market for this concept. Do you still land on that, or have you opened up? You know what? Maybe it might make sense for.
No, I won't do it. I'm not going to spend $1 million on a liquor license. It's an investment, right? Okay. Right. Just like a taxi medallion is an investment. Talk to some taxi medallion owners in New York and see what kind of investment they are. I just won't do it.
But you could probably get. They have. I don't know how good it is, but you can get this license where you get beer and wine if it's sourced locally. But you're right.
No, just wine.
Oh, just wine. Okay, not even beer.
Just wine. If it was beer and wine, I would definitely consider that. But it's if it was beer and wine, I would consider it. But it's not beer. If you look at my slice shop, it's probably an 85 percent beer sales as opposed to wine.
Got it.
So it wouldn't make sense.
Now we're gonna wrap it up soon because I know you were just on Fox. You have some other commitments today.
My family's coming. My grandchildren are coming.
Oh, that's right. You mentioned. One of the questions I have is as entrepreneurs, right? And I'll be the first to tell you, even since we last spoke, I've had some things happen that I'm still learning every day, right? You open up some places, some corporate, some franchises. What are some of the new things that you learned or screwed up on, or since we last spoke that, you know what, Tom, this franchising is not so easy, or the opposite? You know what? Shit, I wish I franchised from the beginning. Give us a little bit about some of your learnings about transitioning from a corporate shop to a franchisee.
Well, I knew that you had to give the licensee autonomy for them
Yeah.
to feel like they own the place. If somebody's going to spend $500,000 opening up a place, you could do it for less, but
Yeah.
if you're smart. That's one thing that I definitely learned. Okay, regardless of franchise or not, do not build a restaurant. Do not build a restaurant. You buy a restaurant or you take over a restaurant.
Yeah.
The one in New Orleans and the one in Philly, I didn't have to pay for anything. All the restaurant infrastructure was there.
Wow.
Never had to have any inspections of anything because it
Wow.
was all inspected prior. The newer the better, okay? Because for instance, in New Orleans, it was a brand new place. Sadly, these people, it didn't work for them. It was the wrong style of pizza.
Yeah.
And then the pandemic came. But the restaurant we took over in Philly, it's a little more challenging because a lot of the infrastructure, a lot of the equipment is now coming to the point where it needs to be replaced or significantly repaired. But you want to do that because it took 29 months and about $650,000 to open up my slice shop in Greenpoint. Okay.
Ouch.
Between the landlords, 18 months, and then mine. And, I had a sweetheart deal with the landlord because I was smart enough to get him to agree that I wouldn't pay rent until the gas was hooked up. Right. What he didn't know at the time, actually, I didn't know it either, was that the gas company now, because of the explosion that happened in the East Village, they started requiring that they would not give you gas until all your appliances are hooked up. So I had to have the place totally built out and everything in place before they could give me the gas. So that's 29 months. The general contractor ran out on me and cost me probably $150,000, maybe more. And I've never seen him again, and I hope I never see him again because I know that I have a lot of self-control, but I don't want to put it to the test, right?
Okay.
So you're better off finding a restaurant. That's the most important thing that I've learned. I learned, and I knew that you had to give people autonomy, getting back to that. But at the same time, I didn't know how tough it would be to give people that autonomy and have them do something with a restaurant with my name on it that I feel is wrong. Okay. And sometimes you just can't, people don't, they have to learn for themselves. So
Are they responsible for marketing locally, or do you take it out of their?
I don't have a marketing fund. I wanted to make this, I wanted to make it easy for people to open up their own place. I just take the franchise fee and no marketing fee that others take. Most things are done. A matter of fact, my agreement forbids them from advertising. Okay, I don't believe in advertising. Okay, and I also don't believe.
Not everybody's you, Paulie, though.
Well, you know what? I didn't believe in advertising before anybody knew who I was. Okay, I knew, when you're doing that, you're telling people, I'm willing to spend money to get you to like my product. Okay, I don't want to do that. I want people to know that I have something that they want. Because the same thing with discounting. That's been very tough for me because everybody else feels that they need to have happy hours, they need to have deals on pizzas, and I know it doesn't work. And and they'll never admit it to me, but it doesn't work. They're going to do it 3 price for $30. And I walk by. There's a new.
Or you could put floors on the pricing of the food. Like, I'll agree with you on there should be floors on the pricing of the food, and any maybe specials have to be approved by corporate. But to put a ban on advertising, we'll push and pull out another time on that. But I get where you're
push and pull. It's worked for me.
For
Here
you,
we are. Here we are.
All right. So really quick. So there's 3 types of media, everybody. There's owned, the shit we make, we get it out there, people listen to it or not, right? Then there's earned, which Paulie is a genius at. Earned media is exactly what happened in the New York Post. I'm going to write about it. He didn't pay for that piece. They didn't pay him, hopefully. and earned media goes out there to the world. And then there's paid media, which is traditional advertising, right? You are the master of owned media, right? If I am a shop owner, it's hard to make owned media because it's hard to do Instagram and stuff. Some flipping pies. Earned media, nobody's better than you. So by default, some people may have to do some paid media, Paul. You get that, right?
Okay. I don't not do paid media because I'm cheap. Okay.
No, because you're good
I
at
do
earned
it
media.
because I think it's a detriment to the business. I'm going to tell you something. Okay. There's a place in my neighborhood here that opened recently and they're trying to get people in. They had a sign outside yesterday that said happy hour from 4 to 6 p.m. Whatever it was. I walked by and there was one person sitting at the bar at like 5 or 5:30.
Yeah.
Okay. It didn't do a goddamn thing for them other than reduce their revenue. Okay.
Well,
right?
yeah. Well, you know what it is. Here's where I will agree with you is if you have a good product. So it all depends, right? I'll give you an example. If you have a good product, but you're not reaching enough people, and the more people you reach, it's going to be sticky, right? Um, um, it's going to be sticky. Then you go ahead and you say, okay, hey, I've got a product. I'm not reaching that corporate park, or I'm not reaching the theater people from before the show, whatever that is, right? So I believe if you have a good product and you want to expand that reach or awareness, advertising 100% makes sense. That I fully align with, and hopefully you would too, right? Where
You can hope all you want.
correct, but where I disagree with advertising is if you are slow, right? You are slow and you're not doing well, and you advertise to get busier, it's not going to work. I'll give you an example. I think you know this. I have a marketing firm, digital marketing firm, and I always tell people all the time. Sometimes by the time you come to us, it's too late. Noah said it, and I've said
I
it.
agree with that.
Had
I
to be
agree.
on my tombstone. Noah built the ark when it was sunny. You should come to us when you are killing it. Your margins are there. You hit your stride, and you just want to maybe pour a little gasoline and reach some people that you haven't met. We're not going to save your business. Only you could save your business. So I think this is a good lesson for people watching that have their own business. That you know what, by calling Tom doesn't save you, right? Or even being good at Paulie or earned media doesn't save your business. So I agree with you that on that, Paulie.
There's other ways around it too. For instance, with the discounting thing,
Yeah.
you never want to say, I'm willing. I have never, maybe these other shops that, have my name on it do, but I've never offered people a financial incentive to come into my place.
Agreed.
I've given away a lot of pizza. I've never gave away alcohol because that would be illegal. You can't do that. So I've never ever given anybody any homemade limoncello.
Yeah.
Me anything. I would never do that, of course. But I never have done that. I rewarded people for coming in. However, I'm looking for ways for like in New Orleans, I'm looking for ways to increase business without doing that discounting. So what you do is you come up with a pie that you could only get during this period, this
Exclusivity
period that you can't get any other time, and you make it a low price pie. So it's not like you're discounting anything, and
Yeah.
that's
Well,
the
they call that a value shift. So let's just say, sake of argument, people see value in your product, but if you discount, you're lowering the value to get that said service. So you don't want to do that. You'll shift it to say, hey, we have the Tom pie with pepperonis, garbage, junk, whatever, at a limited time, and that makes sense. And that's brilliant, man. That's brilliant. Listen, all right, so we're gonna put a link to your corporate on the corporate links. I think last time it wasn't. Are all the stores on the
Yes, everything is on the paulieg.com website, which I have to redo very shortly.
Love it. What's your favorite Soprano episode before we conclude?
You know what? I don't have one favorite episode. There are a lot of great ones. I mean, the one with Ralph and Tracy. There are just so many horrible episodes that, and they should be horrible. The best episodes should be totally horrible. You should never, ever want to be a mobster. and there's just so many of them. I have a lot of favorite scenes. I have, of course, when Richie gets blown away, and I'm trying to think of all these other things. I just watched one with Christopher and oh God, just so many. But in terms of characters, I love people. Who's your favorite character on The Sopranos? And all of these people they asked. I always say Uncle Junior, Tony. My favorite character by far was Richie Aprile.
Oh wow,
he scared the shit out of me. I'd never want to know that guy in real life.
Yep.
Okay, because that guy was nasty. Ralph, I think is a cartoon. Okay,
comic relief for the show. Yeah.
Right. Well, comic, but it's pretty nasty. I don't know if anybody would be like that, but I know people like Richie. Okay, and I stay away from them. But and if you listen to him, okay, have you ever had him on your show?
I never had the actor. I have a hook in with Sopranos Con, so I'm trying to line some of them up when it gets closer. I'll reach out to him.
He is like a 180 difference in personality. And
oh yeah, Craig. He's like a nice.
He's one of the greatest actors of all time, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Because of that performance.
Really Gandolfini was that way too. Gandolfini was like a nice guy.
Yeah, well, he could be a nice guy on the show too, as Tony Soprano. Richie was never a nice guy. Yeah. Never at all.
Yeah. So. Well, really quick, is you've probably seen this because you're a social media guy. Big thing now is our Reels, TikTok, and now on YouTube it's Shorts, right? So I saw a short of when they stole from Matarazzo, whatever his name was. They stole from the job site. They first stole whatever, copper, whatever.
Right.
Tony put the hammer down and said, what are you doing?
No, it was the wire. It was the
wire. No, the fiber optics, which is true, which the mob does do a lot of fiber optics. We'll get to that another time. But then number two is the tiles came in and Silvio approved it, usurping Tony, which is a managerial no-no, number one. Number two, he called Chrissy in because Chris was the acting captain and was like, what are you doing? And he's like, well, what's his name? Silvio gave the okay, blah, blah, blah. He's like, but I gave you a warning not to do it. You went against it again. And he goes, now you stole the tiles. It's a $300 million job. And then you know what Chrissy says? But don't they have insurance? Like that was the encapsulation and the exact reason why the mob fell in the U.S. That small time BS thinking.
Small time stuff. Yeah, they were talking about. I was just watching the episode on the housing in Newark, and they wanted it, or the crack people out of there because they wanted the copper piping. Yep. I mean, this is this guy should have millions of dollars, and he's worried about copper piping.
Well, you'll appreciate this. I don't know if you saw the part where Hesh is there with the girlfriend in bed or talking to somebody. And he's like, yeah, these Italians, they have all this money, but no money in the tank. Tony's probably worth $6 million at best. Just the way he said it, it was epic, all good stuff. So, Paulie, we're gonna put a link to your site, Paulie G Slice Shop in Brooklyn. Got 2 locations now in Philly, New Orleans. If you check it out, email me. I'll make sure it gets over to them. And Paulie, thank you so much for popping on the Armchair NBA.
Well, thank you. It's great to hook back up with you. And hopefully, the next time I'm on, I'll have an autograph on this ball.
I'll keep you posted, brother. I'll speak to you soon. I'm glad you're okay.
Thank you. Thanks.